I'll introduce her in a minute. I just wanted to thank the frontline workers again. I think it's important right now that we thank those people that are sacrificing each and every day to keep this world going. It's just been crazy out there. I can't believe what's going on, and I want to thank them. So we'll give them a big round of applause for that. And I want to thank Natali for joining me this morning. I'm going to introduce her right now. I'm going to bring her into the stream. 3, 2, 1. There she is. How are you, Natali?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Awesome. I wanted to thank you for joining us this morning. Now, I really wanted to talk to you because I know with the crazy time we're going through right now that your husband's a frontline worker. And I kept thinking about that. And I know you have 3 kids. And I'm like, oh my goodness, how stressful would that be right now for your husband to be a frontline worker in the situation we're in? So why don't you tell everybody what that's been like for you?
It's been an experience. We're really trying to kind of do the best we can without panicking too much and kind of causing too much mental stress in the whole family. We are taking precautions in the sense that he is still at home. I know some people have decided to stay away from home. He is still at home, but he makes sure he kind of wipes the car down. He changes at work. He does all his laundry separately, all that type of stuff. Anything that we can do kind of to make sure that if he was to bring anything home, that we can keep it away from myself and the kids. So it's been tough, but at the same time, like I said, we're really trying to focus on, we're trying to take the precautions to make sure that we can enjoy life still and enjoy the time with our kids without panicking too much and let it impact the way that we spend our time with the kids.
Absolutely. Now, what's his attitude like? Like, is he nervous going to work? Does he talk to you about it? Does he keep it inside? I couldn't imagine the stress level that he's going under when he's going through the workforce every day. What's his attitude like?
It has been tough on him in a lot of ways. I think his biggest worry is, of course, his safety, one, but even more so just bringing something home to the kids. That's probably his number one focus. And he's, his work has taken some precautions, which has helped. But I think the biggest thing for him is he feels like he can't really perform his job the same way that he used to. Some of their protocols and their procedures have changed as far as what they can and cannot do. What happens is when somebody calls into 911, they actually do a phone screening first. So they'll ask them certain questions and they'll determine whether they screen positive or not. So if they're screening positive for COVID-19, what they'll do is they'll let the paramedics know to suit up, to kind of put on a full suit, which is good. They're taking the precautions, but where my husband struggles is the fact that he gets to a call and he can't go in and help that person right away because it takes a few minutes for them to get everything on. So he's had some situations where somebody runs out of the house and he has to be like, sorry, you got to wait there until I put everything on. And he said it makes him feel like he's not doing his job properly. And, the patients have been very understanding. They know the situation, but it's just hard because he feels like he's not providing the best care that he can. And that's the struggle.
That's so scary, Natali. And like I said, he deserves a big round of applause for what he's doing. It's amazing how, we didn't think about these people before this happened. And there's been a whole bunch of positives that have come out of this situation in my mind. Now these people are getting the recognition they deserve. They keep us going. They keep the world going, especially at a time like this. Now, is he having a hard time getting his hands on the PPE equipment?
So far, they've been good. So he works for Lambton County. So far, they've actually been pretty good as far as having enough PPE. Now, I think they have enough to last for the next few weeks. We'll see what happens after that. We're hoping that, in that time, they can get their hands on more. But as of right now, he's lucky enough that his base and his service has enough for the paramedics to go to the calls in the next few weeks. But it also depends on how many people are screening positive and how often they have to fully suit up.
Absolutely. Now, how are the kids handling? And now, do they know and understand that there's something different going on? I mean, we can't go to our friends' houses. They can't be playing in groups of kids. How are they handling it? And how do you handle that situation with the kids? How do you explain it to them?
I am so pleasantly surprised by the kids right now. I thought it was going to be a lot harder. And I'm not saying that it's not hard, but they understand a lot more than I thought. So my son is 5, my daughter is almost 4, and then the little one, he's 11 months. He doesn't understand it yet. Not much has changed for him other than the fact that his siblings are at home. But the older two, they understand it really, really well. And we just told them, there is a virus out there, so we cannot go to playgrounds, we cannot see friends, just because sometimes people can have the virus and they might not know that they have it. So we want to protect ourselves, but we also want to protect others, because we could have it and not know. So we told them it could make people really sick, especially our moms, our grandparents, or their grandparents, I guess.
Yeah.
So we told them that a few times, and they haven't asked to go to a playground. There's been times kind of before the playgrounds were closed that they'd see somebody there and be like, "Mom, like they're not supposed to be there. Do they know about the virus?" And they understood it a lot faster than I expected, and they've been so good about it. Even when we see people, they've been very good to kind of keep their distance, and I'm very pleasantly surprised by how they've reacted to the whole thing.
I find the adults are acting worse than the kids. Like, I'm serious.
Yeah.
It is. Like I'm a homebody myself. I hang out with my dog a lot, and it didn't bother me to not go out until they told me I couldn't. now it's driving me crazy.
Everybody wants what they can't have, right?
It's so true. And the kids have been great. I know a lot of friends. I haven't been lucky enough to have kids, but I know a lot of friends with kids, and they've all said the same thing. They're just trying their best to get through the day. And the kids they get so bored, right? We try and take the technology away from them. We tell them it's bad, it's bad, it's bad, but now it's saving us.
Yes.
Look at us.
Yeah.
Like, if we didn't have technology, I said last week on the podcast, what if this had happened in the 80s? Could you imagine?
Yes. And that's why I said we are so lucky that this is happening now, when we do have all this access to technology. And I have to give a shout out to the teachers, because they've been fantastic as well. They're constantly sending us stuff that we can do with the kids. They're putting videos on of them reading stories and things like that we can share with the kids. They're trying to make it a lot easier on us. And I know this isn't easy for the teachers as well. There are a lot of teachers that really miss those kids. Like, I know my son's teachers, like, these are their kids too, and they miss them so much. And they've been so fantastic at sharing ideas with us. They call in to check in to see how we're doing, and they've been so amazing. So big shout out to the teachers as well.
That's incredible to hear. And again, I want to give a shout out to the teachers as well. Even though I don't have kids, I hear a lot about it. I know they were going through hell before this happened, with the rotating strikes and all that. And now they've just put it's just been awful. So big shout out to them. Now, you've been a huge, huge part of growing Awesomepreneurs. You were the VP for a little while. We figured out that, it's a lot of work. And what we didn't want to happen is we didn't want it to take away from your actual job. And that's why we're here today, is to talk about what you do and how you can help the community, and what you do from work or from home every day for your job. Why don't you tell people a little bit about that?
Sure. So I've been very lucky in the sense that my job has not changed very much. So I have been working from home for the last few years. I do go out to networking events, and I do go out and meet clients in person sometimes, but for the most part, I can do my job online. So what I do, I'm a franchise broker. So for most people that don't know what that is, which is the majority of the population, I am the in-between man between a franchisor and franchisee. So I work with people that are currently unhappy in their job, and are looking to possibly start their own business or purchase a franchise, or on the other hand, people that are looking for an investment opportunity in a business as well. So I am contracted with about 300 different franchise companies all over North America, and then I work with individuals that are looking to explore franchise opportunities. And
that's amazing.
The only way people usually find out about franchise opportunities is by driving down the road and they see a Tim Hortons and a KFC and kind of the big food locations. So that's what people know, and they assume I need $500,000 to open KFC or whatever the franchise is. And I work with a lot of companies that, we do have our food and our retail chains, but for the most part, we have a lot of companies that are home-based, that are that people have no idea even exist, right? So there are a lot of franchise opportunities that people don't know are out there unless they speak to a franchise broker, because you can go online, you can put in, franchise opportunities, and you're going to get 3 million results on different opportunities out there, and it's going to take you about 17 years to actually go through it. And so that's where I come in, and I meet with people, I find out about their skills, their experience, their financials, the lifestyle that they want. And I say, okay, based on everything that you're telling me, here are 3 or 4 different options that I think would be a really good fit for you. And then
that's so cool. Now, before we go any further, Natali, I want to make sure that people can get a hold of you. It's really important to me that people can reach out to you. How would they get a hold of you? I'm going to put it on the ticker here at the bottom of the screen. What's the best way to contact you?
So my website is www.topfranchisebroker.com. So that's the easiest way, or social media as well. So I am on Facebook. You can either get my personal profile, or it's on Top Franchise Broker on Facebook as well, or LinkedIn. I'm quite active on LinkedIn as well.
What's your email?
It's Natali, Natali, at topfranchisebroker.com.
At top. Yeah, I want to make sure it's important that people are able to get a hold of you, because right now, more than ever, there's going to be people looking for new ways to generate income and figure out what they're going to do when this is done. And I think that's a perfect opportunity for people to jump in an opportunity like that.
You know what? And this has been a unique time. And I often tell people, when we go through situations like this, whether it's a pandemic or, a bad economy, whatever it is, it's often a great opportunity to explore these options as well. Because in some cases, people have been laid off and everybody's hoping to go back to work, but we don't know how long this will take. We don't know what the new normal will be. We don't know if those jobs will be available after this is all over. So this is really a great time for people to, if they have been laid off and have the time to really explore different options, because it is a time-consuming process. And a lot of times people come to me and they go, I've been wanting to explore franchise options for a really long time, but I just keep putting it off because you get busy in your day-to-day of, work and kids and your social life, all that type of stuff, that you don't really have necessarily the time to explore these options. So it kind of forces people, when it's a situation like this, it forces people to actually go think, do I want to do this for the rest of my life? Am I happy at my job? And if not, then what can I do to be happier in my career? And it is a great time to explore franchise options. It is also a great time. I will kind of give a little bit of a plug as well. There's a lot of franchise companies out there that are giving incentives right now. So just like just like with the stock market, everybody says when it's a bad stock market, that's the time to actually invest and buy more stocks and all that. Well, it's the same thing with the franchise as well. So there are a lot of companies that are offering incentives, such as no royalties for a full year. You can get large territories. There's a lot of great offerings out there. So if you're in a position of being able to buy into a franchise, this would be a great time to look into it.
See, here's the situation I'm in. So we sell licenses across Canada and the US to open up Awesomepreneurs. And I'm an event-based business. Yeah. So I couldn't even give away. I could throw a franchise at somebody right now and they wouldn't take it, because all we do is we run events. But what they don't realize is it's so much more than that, because we have the website. Rob's made the website a full e-commerce website now. Everybody can put their profile on there. So make sure you do that today. When you go to the website, if you go in the top right corner, you can hit register. Okay. And you can put all your information right on the website immediately. We're not charging for that right now either. There's a few incentives we're offering, but I couldn't even offer a city to somebody right now, just due to the situation, because we can't do events, right?
Yeah, and that's a really tough part. And there's a lot of franchises that are in the same boat as well. It's a really tough time, and I think the hardest part about it is not knowing when it's going to end. It'd be a lot easier if somebody says, by July or September or October, things are going to go back to normal, but not knowing and not having that timeline makes it really difficult for people to plan their future. So my thoughts are with companies such as Awesomepreneurs, which is such a great resource for entrepreneurs. And it's hard when you can't provide that same type of service, because your main offering of in-person events cannot happen. And I know you guys have done some virtual stuff as well, which is great. And I think it's great that you are taking those initiatives, but it's a hard time for so many.
I agree. And you know what? It is a scary time. And exactly, you hit the nail on the head, is we don't know how long it's going to be. We don't know when it's going to end. That's the scariest part for me. But I think on the positive side, people are learning new skills. They're finding new ways to generate income. I mean, for me, I have a whole studio set up in my living room now for the podcast, which I never would have done. Had we not got this pandemic, I never would have done this because I didn't push myself to do it. Yeah. Is there anything you're picking up new or anything you're learning while we've had this time off?
Yeah, you know what? I'm so glad that you said that about learning new skills. Like, I do think that's been such a big positive for a lot of businesses. And I'm very impressed by London entrepreneurs in particular, because those are the ones that I'm mostly connected to, kind of the creativity that's come out of them. And like I said, it's really forced people to do things that they thought of doing before. Like, I know you've thought about doing a podcast before, but this kind of forced you into it, which is really good. So there have been benefits. I've seen a lot of businesses get very creative about how they offer services to their clients, which is fantastic. And also for kind of on the franchise side too, I find for me, because I do work with so many brands and I do try to, keep a really good handle on what's going on in the franchise world, it really becomes clear who the strong franchises are and who maybe is not quite as strong, because you can tell a lot about a company and about the leaders by the way that they're handling the situation. So again, for my clients that are exploring franchises right now, I always tell them, ask them what they're doing for their franchisees right now, because everybody is going to tell you all the great things when things are going well and the economy's strong and all that type of stuff. But what happens when something like this happens, when nobody expects it and nobody knows how to deal with it? What are those companies doing for their franchisees right now?
You're so right, Natali. I'm glad you brought up that point, because that's what terrified me was, listen, I have a whole membership here of people, in a couple different cities. What am I going to do to step up to make sure that we're still offering some value to them? And it was a scary time, but if you don't push through it and you don't push forward, those are the companies that are just going to fold.
Yeah.
Like, we've opened up some new opportunities. We can offer business loans to businesses now through our financial partner. And he said they're still going to keep giving out loans as long as the business is cash positive right now. They can offer businesses loans. Perfect example for you, our financial partner. If you've got somebody looking for a franchise and they don't have the money, Awesomepreneurs has a partner now where we can get your clients the money they need to purchase that franchise. So yeah, it's been amazing. I've had to find new ways to kind of generate income and keep value coming in. We dropped our memberships to $100 for the year instead of $150. And we're not going to start those memberships until the new year, or until the live events start again. So there's things that these businesses are doing, and you're right. It's kind of cool to see what businesses step up and which ones don't. And the ones that do are going to be the ones that survive and thrive in the end. Like, I can't wait till we start doing live events again, because everybody's going to be looking for a place to go meet and grow and start and restart the economy.
Yeah. Definitely. And I think it's great that people have a resource like Awesomepreneurs that they can still contact you or go on the website and, try to connect to other people as well. Because I think right now is when the entrepreneur community really does come together and really needs to have somebody that they can approach and say, hey, listen, I am in a tough position financially. What can I do? Or, I'm looking to connect to these type of businesses, and having something like Awesomepreneurs to actually be that resource for them. To connect them to other people, because right now it is tough to connect, right? We use online a lot, but if you don't know where to look, it's really tough to connect to people still.
You're so right. That's another great point. See, this is why you are who you are, because you're brilliant. So I just love the fact that we do have resources for people out there. We have 11 business coaches on board now. We have a money coach now that can help, deal with your money issues and kind of walk you through those problems. 11 sales coaches, marketing coaches, speaking coaches. A lot of people have no idea how to present on a screen like this. Like, you're a great talker. You've obviously spent time with Sarah Hilton. So, I mean, it's just awesome to watch this happen, but a lot of people aren't comfortable on screen. So we have the coaches to reach out to. If they're not comfortable, they can learn that skill. Now, let me ask you one more question. If somebody has a business and they want to start a franchise and grow it, do you have resources that you can reach out to help people do that as well?
Yeah, definitely. So they can still reach out to me. I can give them a little bit of information, but I do have somebody that I work with that specializes in helping companies franchise their business. So her and I work together. But yeah, if you come to me, then I can give them kind of the general information, and then I will pass them on to my partner when they're ready to get to that point of actually franchising the business. Because people think it's just, you know, putting a couple things together and you're off, but it's a big process. And if you're going to do it, you want to do it right, because it takes time, it takes money, it takes a lot of effort. So people need to be prepared for that.
No, and I love that. And yeah, you're such a resource for everybody that I know. For one, I mean, I've had 4 or 5 people come to me and say, hey, I'd like to franchise this. I have no idea where to start. What do I do? So we make sure to send them to you. Now, how are you going to come through this, and what's been happening? So I know you've had deals in the works. So you had deals in the works before COVID hit. Now, what are the attitudes of those people that you were working with before it hit and now working through it? Are you trying to coach and walk them through it to keep them interested, or did they just run and hide?
Yeah, it's been a mix. So I unfortunately, there has been a lot of people that were kind of getting to the end point, and then they realize, well, you know, this is all happening. I want to see how this plays out. So it is a waiting game at this point for a lot of people. They say, you know, they found businesses they're interested in, but it's a waiting game. So they want to wait until all this is over to see what's going to happen to the industry that they're looking into. But on the other hand, I have had a lot of people too that have kind of either been watching me on social media or kind of have talked to me in the past that have thought about franchising, and now they're coming back going, you know what, I was just laid off, so this is a great time for me to explore it. So I think I'm in a really big place in my business right now where it's a lot about education, right? Because a lot of people are not going to kind of cross that finish line until they see how everything pans out. But this is a really good time to gather as much information as they can. This is a really good time. We go through a stage called validation for people looking to buy franchises, which is when they actually call the existing franchisees and talk to them about, you know, what their experience has been and that type of stuff. That's when I tell people that's the make or break it point for this whole process, because that's when they find out the good, the bad, and the ugly of the business, right? And this is a great time to reach out to those franchisees, because they're usually not as busy as they normally are to talk to them. So you know, there's still people can literally go through the entire process still, and then in a lot of cases they will wait until this pandemic is over to cross that finish line. On the other hand, like I said, there are so many incentives right now that if you can see past this bit of a bubble that we're in right now, and you know that, you know, this is not going to last forever, we will get through this, and you can see past that, and you're in a position that you can actually invest in a franchise, then this is a great time to do it. And the ones that are doing it, like I said, are getting the incentives like no royalties for a year, or you know, smaller fees. They're able to get larger territories. They're being able to get a bit better pick of territories, that type of stuff as well, because a lot of people are kind of on that pause button and they're waiting. And there's definitely the ones that have been running and hiding. You know, I have had clients that have fully disappeared because, you know, and I don't blame them, because they're scared. They don't know what to expect. And you know, they don't want to make any life-changing decisions at this time, which I also understand. But like I said, this can be a great time. This is, you know, a stage that we're going through. This will pass. So if you're in a position that you're able to invest in a franchise, it's such a wonderful time to do it. And it's also such a great time to just get the information. Like I said, that's my number one focus, is just educate people. Like I said, you know, reach out to the franchisees now, or franchises now, the franchisors, and see what they're doing for their franchisees, because that's when you will see the true light and really see what that franchisor is like.
So you're willing to help people that way if they just want some simple information and say, hey, you know what, I'm not sure where my head's at. I really do want to run my own business. I'm not sure what business I want to run. Mm-hmm. You'll help them and walk them through that process?
100%. That's exactly what I do. And I should probably also mention, which I always forget to, that my service is completely free of charge to my clients. So the people that work—
Holy, hold on a sec. That deserves one of these. What do you mean it's free? Like so who you get paid through the franchise that you sell rather than the client you work with?
Exactly. So it's completely free for my clients to work with me. I get paid a referral fee by the franchise company once I place somebody in their system. So really, there is no reason for somebody not to work with me if they're looking at any franchise. just to get the information. I always tell people, if you haven't bought a franchise before, which 99.9% of people have not, you don't know what questions to ask. You don't know what red flags to look for. And that's my job. That's what I'm here to do. I give you a list of questions to ask. I help you walk through the whole process, because at the end of the day, you're talking to salespeople in these companies, whereas I am an unbiased person in this whole process. So, if you're not sure about something, clients come to me and they go, you know what, they said this, but I don't know how I feel about it, or I'm not really getting a good vibe. I can help them walk through that and say, okay, well, this is what's typical for a franchise system. This is what's not. You're right. This might be a red flag. That's something that you want to explore. Or, and there's been a lot of times, you mentioned people might not know what the right step is for them. And I always tell people, I don't think everybody is a good fit to be a franchisee. I don't think everybody's a good fit to start their own business. And I don't think everybody's a good fit for the corporate world, right? There's people, we're all different. We all have different needs. We all have different skills. I've had a ton of clients that come to me thinking that they want to go into business for themselves. And then once they get the education, once they start going through the process, they go, you know what? This is not for me. I want to go back to the corporate world, or I want to start my own business. I don't need the backing of a franchise, and that's fine too. So really, I'm just here as an educational resource for people. Like I said, no obligation, no cost. So anybody that has franchise questions, please send them my way. I would love to help them.
And I've got to, just while I have you on the line here, I've got to give a big shout out to you as well, because you've been instrumental in teaching me and helping me what to do and what not to do. You were the one that kept my head on straight and, would pump the brakes and say, quit being an idiot. You can't do this. You got to do it this way. And you've been huge in helping me move forward to put the processes in place that I needed to put in place that I had no idea I needed. I mean, a lot of people know I didn't know what Awesomepreneurs was going to turn into. And now that it's turned into something so special, you were just absolutely instrumental in doing that. And that deserves another round of applause because I'm telling you, there's been so many times that I wanted to do things and you made me stop and say, okay, think out the steps before you do that, because if you do it, it could go this way. And 100% of the time it would have gone wrong had I had done that. So I want to give a big shout out to you for helping me figure out a lot of that stuff and making Awesomepreneurs what it is today. You deserve a lot of credit for that, and I want to thank you for that.
Thank you. And it was fantastic being part of the Awesomepreneurs family, and I still am. Some, I'll always be a member. I think it's such a great resource for people. And I have to give props to you too, because I find, first of all, entrepreneurs, that's kind of what we're not so good at, in the sense that we have so many ideas and we get so excited about things, so sometimes it's hard to push the brakes on some ideas. So that's just a common entrepreneur trait. But the one thing that I think you are fantastic at is asking for help. And bringing in really strong team members. You have so many great strong team members around you, and you're very good on at leaning on those people. And I think
I'm so blessed
that people need to do, because I think a lot of times people try to do things on their own. And you cannot grow a business on your own. Nobody can. Nobody gets to being $1 million company on their own. It takes a team. It takes a lot of time and effort, and a lot of disagreements and a lot of arguments to kind of figure out how do you do this. And it is a lot of trial and error, and sometimes you fall flat on your face, but then you get back up and you do it again with the help of your team, trying to figure out what's the best way to do it. So, that's something that you're very good at, is, making sure that you are working with great people and asking them for help and actually listen to them.
And I appreciate that, Natali. I really do, because that's my biggest trait problem is I get way too excited about things way too quick, because I just want the best for everybody. And sometimes when I get excited about those choices, it won't be the best for everybody if you had allowed those to go through and allowed that to happen. So I thank you for that. We do have an incredible team around us, again, with the 11 business coaches, with all just the members. I mean, going through this has been such a wake-up call for me, because as I told you, I had to find a way to generate new income because it just stopped dead because we weren't doing events anymore. And there's been members that I've reached out to that have helped me figure out new and exciting ways to generate income. So I think we've built a special community here, and you are a big part of helping us build that community. And I thank you for that. And you're always going to be part of the family. I'm excited you are part of the family. And I think you're going to see more and more that as entrepreneurs come up with ideas, the best idea is to franchise it. And I think you're going to be a great resource for those people going forward. So I want to thank you for your time today. I'm going to let you get back to your kids and your day because I know you've got a hectic life. But I couldn't be more thankful for you spending time with me today. And please, please give your husband a big shout out from all the Awesomepreneurs members and thank him very much. And thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you so much, Kyle. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I'll definitely pass on the message to Justin as well.
Thanks, Natali. Stay on the line while I stop the broadcast here, and we'll chat some more.
Sounds good.